T-Links present Presidential Chat with Dr. Albert Femi Gbolahan Oduwole. Dr. Albert Femi Oduwole is a mentor, versatile author, media personality, minister, international relationship expert, and life coach. He has been happily married to Olateju Aramide, a chemical engineer cum human resource manager, for over 23 years, and together they preside over World Ablaze Mission International, a multifaceted mission comprising of an international outreach ministry, training centers, publishing outfit, media corporation, and triumphant nation everywhere, a fast-growing network of churches. He is also the CEO of Get Inspired Inc., a peak performance consulting incorporation. Dr. Albert travels the world speaking at civil, corporate, and Christian organizations. He also oversees many organizations worldwide. Triumphant, with clapping and standing ovation, let's make feel welcome our father, Reverend Albert Femi Oduwole.
Thank you. You can have your seats. Thank you very much. Ref, you're welcome, sir. So good to see you again. You're looking
God.
good, sir. So thank God you're back. And
Good to be back. Thank you.
yes, sir. We'll be going straight away to the presidential
Please.
chat. But
Yeah.
before we start, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Bukola Adediro. I'll be anchoring this show together with.
My name is Shewa Solomon. Please, if you do have any question for Rev, you can send or write in the sheets of paper, and please pass to Mr. Olaiwola Dragon or Mr. Biara Oduwole. We'd love to have your questions from here.
Okay, so to the first question. How can one really manage time when you have a lot on your hands and in your head?
The truth of the matter, thank you everybody, good to be here. The truth of the matter is that if you're going to grow in life, you will always have struggle with time. Because as you grow older and you get more successful, you have more to do and time remains constant. Your responsibility does not remain constant. So what you need to do is not so much of managing time, but managing yourself in respect to time. There are few things I've learned to do. Number one, like I was telling one of my sons of late, don't put too much in your head, put it on paper. The shortest pencil remembers more than the longest memory. Number two, put priority to them. Jesus said in John chapter 4 verse 1, I must pass through Samaria. So know the most of your day. Make sure you start them. Then number three, very quickly, I learned this from Ben Tracy in his book, Eat That Frog. Ben Tracy says some days in your life you have to eat a frog. He said many a times the mistake we make is that once you know you have to eat a frog tomorrow, you wake up like, I have to eat this frog. But let me eat rice first. This frog. Let me eat beans first. This frog. So by night you discover that it's about to be night. I still need to eat this frog. Then you finally have to eat it. But it has messed up your day because every other thing you have done, the fear of the frog had been the major issue. So Brian Tracy said, if you have to eat a frog, when you wake up, eat the frog. For me as a leader, the frog might be to rebuke somebody, to sack his staff, to break news to somebody that you've lost a loved one. It's not always easy. But I've learned that when I wake up, I need to eat that frog so I can get on with my day.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I have this question here. How can I undo the pressure of growing my dreams despite the fast means of Yahoo and
Beautiful. One of the things you need to realize is the fact that, number one thing, when I was in school, when somebody was talking to us about cheating, and I was very sure that nobody cheated in my class. The reason being that during class time, I'm sorry, that is me, I sit at the back. During the exam, I sit in front. Okay? But people in my class were saying they cheat. I said, no, nobody cheats. Then one guy looked at me and laughed at my face and said, you are too ignorant. We cheat. And I said to him, you cheat, and you are happy about that. What you don't know is that what you have proven to me is that you have no belief in your brain. What you are saying is that I don't believe, if you know what can come out, why write it in an handkerchief when you can put it in your brain. I say you can cheat out of school, but in life, then there is no exam you write on paper or in handkerchief. How will you live your life? It's better for me to fail, but believe in my brain, than for me to cheat and pass, and yet my brain, I don't have faith in it. The problem with Yahoo boys is that they don't believe in themselves, they don't believe they can make money, right? And that is a kind of money that, why do they display the wealth so much? Because their conscience and their self-esteem is diminished.
Yes, sir.
That's what people don't know. That is why they want to spend the money, show you they have money, because their self-esteem is gone, though they have the money. But you build your dream. It's better for you to have 100 naira legitimately than 1,000,000 naira that you stole, because that makes a difference. And you know what I've discovered? I've discovered that in life you can jump up, but you always come down. But if you climb up, you stay up. So I'd rather climb up. So don't be pressured by them. Let them do whatever they want to do, but you follow the legitimate way, and by God's grace, God will help you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. If you sense that God is calling you into the itinerary ministry, what are the things you need to do? What are the things you need to know?
Number one, come to IIPM, International Institute of Pastoral and Itinerary Ministry. That is what we do. We just finished a set online, executive set. That's what we train you about. But one of the things you need to know is, what is itinerary ministry to start with? Itinerary ministry is a ministry that goes from place to place. That is part of my calling. The first thing is that if God had called you to be it, you will like to travel, because it's about traveling. But what you need to do is, number one, get clarity about your calling. God, what exactly are you calling me to do? Very interesting. Well, before I started out, I listened to John Osteen, the father of Joel, the man with the largest church in America right now. He was an itinerant pastor and a friend to Kenneth Hagin and all of them. He said he used to travel with them, but when he comes back, he's always tired. And one day he said to God, how come they are not tired? I'm tired. And God told him, they travel as a teacher. You should travel as a pastor. That if you travel as a pastor and as a teacher, your strength won't be depleted. I was shocked. I didn't know there was not anything like that. So I prayed about it and I got more understanding. So I itinerate, but not as a teacher, but as a pastor. Even if you listen to my messages on the field, it's trying to get people to live right and their family life to be settled and their spiritual life to be great, which is very pastoral in nature. So get the clarity, the blueprint of what God has called you to do, very important. Then get mentored. That's also another thing, because it's a field you've never been through before, and then you need somebody that's been through it to take you through it.
Thank you very much, sir. To the next question. This is a 2-in-1 question. It says, I want to speak on Jephthah. Did he actually sacrifice his daughter, like killing or burning her?
Yeah, he did. Now, this is the foolishness of man. There's a man in the Bible called Jephthah, a man with a checkered history. He was born by a prostitute. He wasn't accepted by his brothers. And then he developed himself. He became very great. His brothers invariably came to him. They said, look, we have a battle. He said, I can't follow you. Maybe you said I'm a non-entity. Then he was able to negotiate with them perfectly. Now, that was his strength. It became his weakness. In life, be careful of your strength, because your strength can become your weakness. The strength of the Philistines was Goliath. And then they said, if anybody can fight Goliath and win, then he has won the battle. It was their strength, it became their weakness, because all Israel needed to do was to kill one man to become the victor. So the problem with Jephthah is that he was good at negotiation, but when it comes to God, God did not ask him for anything. He was one that said, if you let me go and I win, the first thing that welcome me, I will sacrifice to you. Stupid guy. God didn't ask you for that. But you see, it was his strength, it became his weakness. So he went to war, he won. As he was coming back, maybe he thought it was going to be a goat or a cow. Unfortunately, it was his beautiful daughter. And because he had made the pledge to God, he needed to fulfill the vow, and he did fulfill the vow. But it was not God that asked him to do it. It was his own strength that became a weakness for him.
Thank you so much, sir. You also mentioned at the time that we should be careful to make vows when we are
careful.
happy.
The Bible said in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 that don't be hasty to make vows before God. He said, why should you allow God to destroy you? So be careful of the vows you make. But I'm saying not even before God, even with men. If you are not going to marry her, don't tell her you will marry her. If you will not come for the wedding, don't say I'm coming for your wedding. If you will not be in church, let us know you will not be in church. Don't be stupid where vows are concerned, because you are bound by your words.
Well, thank you, sir.
People don't even know in Nigeria, I can sue you for promising to marry me and not marry me. That's one of the things people don't understand in this country. Do you know the so-called stupid guy that people were following that he frees was living in adultery? I said it that time, people thought I was joking. He wasn't living the Christian life. I'm not even sure he's born again. He was living in adultery. Then the husband sued him for sleeping with his wife and living with adultery with his wife, and the bank said he should pay the man 5 million naira. So you are slapping your wife for when you could make money. Why use that stupid? Hello, we have a legal system that works sometimes, amen. So yeah, you can sue somebody to court for promising to marry you and not marrying you. A lot of you guys will be in prison if people do that, but it's all right.
Okay. Leviticus 17:11 says, the blood is the life of the body. James 2:26 says, the body without the spirit is dead. Is there a relationship between the spirit and the blood of Jesus?
The blood of everything. The life of everything is in the blood of it. That is why the Bible is very clear about the power of the blood. Now, this is what you need to realize. So, which means the life of Jesus is in his blood. That is why we take communion, because it's powerful. Communion is a representation of life. That is why the Bible said in 1 Corinthians 11 that if you do it wrong, you can die early and be sick. Which means if you do it right, you will live long and be strong. Because what happens to you when you take communion is that the life of God, the Zoe life of God that is in you, is reactivated, and that is very, very important.
Thank you very much, sir. I have this question here. How do you live and manage, or how do you work with people around you without having problems?
Yes, number one is the fact that you need to understand people. If you don't understand people, if some of you don't join us on Telegram yesterday for professionals, I was explaining to them that Harvard University and Oxford at different times, some of the best universities in the world, they did a survey. They picked people with IQ. That is what we knew when we were young, intelligent content. They picked them and they studied their life over time. And they discovered that most of them didn't get successful in life. They were sure. Where is this guy with first class? He's not made first class in life. Where is this guy? What did he read? He got third class, and he's not the manager of all these guys. How did that happen? Then they came to a conclusion that there is something higher than IQ. It's called EQ, emotional quotient. And I mentioned 5 things that it makes for emotional content and how to develop it yesterday on Telegram. One of them is self-awareness. Another one is self-regulatory. Another one is motivation. Another one, but I want to talk about social skill, the ability to relate with people. You can't go far in life if you can't relate with people. The first thing that has helped me majorly, I must be sincere with you, number one, understanding people's temperament. When TJ and I got engaged, it was a bit of struggle. And I said to her one day, I said, everybody tell me I'm nice. She said they said the same thing about her. I said they are lying. She said people that told you are nice too are lying. How come 2 nice people now get engaged and we are fighting? Then I read the book on Why We Act the Way We Do by Tim and Beverly Leye. It made me understand temperament. For now, I discovered that, let me give you an example. When we were cutting, one day, TJ and I had a good time. Then she went home. The next day I saw her, babe, how are you doing? She was doing bonku bonku shows. You know bonku bonku shows? Check it in Google. She was what is the problem this way? He said, yesterday, when you say I'm not serious. Oh, yes, serious, you know. He said, can you say something that weighty? Kuwaiti. That is how me and my friend greet one another. But when boy, oh yes, serious. Oh my, you're serious at all. To us, it's a greeting. To a melancholy, she went home and meditated overnight about you are not serious. Egbami. He said, I'm not serious. No wonder. So whenever I'm talking to him, he's seen an unserious person. And me. And I passed my WAECO. I did well in JAM. I even went to IFE. And he now said, me, I'm not serious. Oh, yes, serious, because, serious is a form of greeting where we are coming from. But I discovered now that melancholy is different from sanguine. So the way I'm going to talk to PK is not the way I'm going to talk to Pastor DG. It's not the way I'm going to talk to Pastor Peter. Did anybody get what I'm saying? Because they are different people with different temperament. For example, if I want this building to be moved to the next building, I will send Pastor Inka. She's a mover and a shaker. If I send PD will be saying, everybody, we move this building. Please, let's try. If I say, hey, building, everybody, go, we are moving the building. So I don't send them the same thing. If I know I want to talk to a sensitive person, I'll send Pastor DG. If I know, praise God. Praise God.
Thank you very much, sir. The question here says, what can a Christian woman do when abused in marriage? Do I keep praying?
Pray, kill and so. Listen, you pray, you pray. A believer must pray. But beyond prayer, number one, speak out. Many people died because they refused to speak out. You are not, you see, there are some things, even not wife, you are a daughter, you are a son. You are being abused by your partner. You are a husband. You see, it's even easier for women to speak out than men. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. One guy came to me and I said, how is your wife? I didn't see you. This one is not here, somewhere else. I didn't see you in church when I came to preach in your church last week. I couldn't come. Why? I had body pains. What happened to you? It's my wife. What happened? She beat me. She beat you how? And that's what happens. Sometimes when I do something, she slaps me. You don't say this one quietly. You say it out loud. She beats you. So the truth of the matter is that when it comes to abuse, pray but report. I'm not joking. This is what I tell people. Many a times in Christendom, we have allowed people to die in influences like that by telling them to keep on sinning. 1 Corinthians 7 says you can depart. There are two covenants. Covenant of love, covenant of life. But covenant of life is stronger than covenant of love. So if covenant of love will destroy your covenant of life, move away. No man has a right to beat you. Such things is, I was in South Africa one day, one South African lady came to see me, this was several years ago. I want to talk to you about something. My boyfriend, he slapped me, he's beating me. I said, call police. He said, but he's a Christian. That's why you should call police. I said, where is he? He said, hey, come to this church. Where is he? He said, he didn't come today. His name is Femi. When I hear Femi, I say, Femi should not be going to prison in a foreign land. I said, call him to come and see me. I told him, I said, I'm going to tell her in front of you. Next time he beat you, call police. He's not even from here. They will deport him. Yes, I said it in front of him. That's stupid. So pray, but call police. Talk to pastors, then call police. I'm not joking.
Thank you, sir. Can we please put our hands together for Rev?
Yeah.
The next question says, sir, how do I manage my career and education? Because in my career, I'm becoming famous, but in school, almost everyone stares at me. How do I manage the two?
That is how you manage life. When I was younger, I thought if I could just graduate from school, my life would be okay. Because there was struggle between academics and career. Then, by the time I graduated, it became more problem. That's okay, if I marry, my life will be better. Then I marry, I discovered that it became more problem. I said, maybe if you have children. One day I was playing with Barbara on the bed. I said, I love you more than anybody in this world. Reverend TJ called. I said, sorry, except for my wife. So that is how life is. It gets more complex the more you go. But look at me. In the last 2 years, I did 3 exams. I wrote exams, I read, I passed. One of them, I didn't tell my family I was writing exam until I passed. If I fail, nobody will know. I will just dust myself and do it again. But when I passed, I told everybody I scored 92%. Go and check it on internet. International Relationship Coach. Abba! I studied for it. So you are never too old. I went to Harvard for my certification at the age of 45. So what is the problem? So look, don't let your position destroy your vision. Your position, no matter how big it is, your future is still greater. So keep on moving. Do the exam. No matter how people are looking at you, move forward. Because there is still more to be done as long as you are alive.
Thank you very much, sir. My husband and I are into ministry. I am into business, but my husband is not doing so much. All the bills are on me, and it's very overwhelming. My husband says he cannot do business. What can I do? Because I want to stop paying the bills.
Okay, this is the thing. Everybody should sit down, husband and wife, and come to a conclusion how you want to handle your life. I have talked to wives that came to report their husband to me that God called him. He wants to do business. And I said, no, let me make enough money for the two of us. You face what God has called you to do. But that is their life. That is not your life. If it is a family, it must be a joint decision. The Bible is very clear about it. A man needs to provide for his family. Both of you need to come to a conclusion on how do we move forward. Very interesting. Reverend B and Reverend Tolu Lusonya, both of them were working. Pastor Tolu used to live in our house. She passed ICANN before she finished her service here. She was already chartered. Reverend B was working in the insurance field. Then Reverend B said, God had called me to do ministry. Of course, his family was against it. Stay with your work. Then they talked to him. He said, no, God had called me. Talk to me. I approved it. Then they called the wife to report him to the wife. The wife said, in fact, I told him if he does not do ministry, there will be a problem because I know God called him. So you want him to leave his job? Yes. You know the funniest part of it? The year Reverend B left his job, they doubled Pastor Tolu's salary. It was as if God was saying, I know the sacrifice, you people won't lack anything. So you see, it depends on your agreement. But both of you should sit down and talk about it and find a way forward.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Let me merge two questions together because of time. Good day, sir. Do consulars at the embassies make calls to check the authenticity of documents presented at the interview while applying for a visa?
They do. It's surprising. They do. I've received several calls. They do. They check.
Why has Reverend TJ stopped teaching in Sunday services since you got back from your trip?
Let me ask her. Oh, she said she's on leave. Oh, no. This is the thing. She still taught here 2 Sundays ago. She was the one that spoke. We do a schedule. And if you know, very good question. If you know me, I'm here now does not mean I'm here forever. Okay, I've owed you so much, I'm paying my debt. The first month, I stay with you only. This month, I'm with you and with some of our churches in the city. So I'm still paying my debt. But then after that, so what they try to do, Reverend TJ is controlling all of us. For example, Pastor Tio today, you will see him like 3 times. Because he's a runaway, he works in Lagos. But Reverend TJ said, you see, today you are here. You will pay for all the time you have gone. So I think he led prayer. He did announcement. In this service, is he doing something? So when I'm here, they try to use me very well because they don't know when and away he flew. But yeah, Reverend TJ, even me, I like to listen to her. Her tushness is not like my bushness. I've tried. They've tried to package me. Just didn't work. Pray for me.
All right, sir. Do you think it's right for a minister of God to condemn another minister of God publicly? 2, how do you identify a man of God who is truly called of God? 3, what do you think about the present day ministry styles and the olden days ministry?
Okay, so beautiful question. Number 1 thing is, why do you condemn another man of God in your pulpit? It's not necessary. You can address issues, don't condemn men. You can address issues, don't condemn men. When I went to preach at a funeral yesterday of the father of a friend of mine. This man was a smoker, a woman. He had 5 wives. Smoker, womanizer, drunkard. Then he got saved. When he got saved, everything dropped. Stopped smoking, stopped doing everything. He has 16 children. And he has personal relationship with all of them. But you know the funniest part of it? He didn't leave his KNS. But everybody knew this guy is saved. Don't condemn people. Okay? So you just need to, so how do you know somebody is saved? You ask them. That brings me to one issue, because I know all of you have it in your mind. TB Joshua, some of you are young, you don't know him. We that grew up, we knew he was the founder of Chrislam app. You don't know. Chrislam, Islam, an herbalist. Then he became white garment. Then he became packaged. Is he born again? We don't know. But when himself and Chris Oikotie had a problem, Chris asked him, are you born again? He said, yes, from his mother's womb. That is the problem we have. We don't know that you can get born again from your mother's womb. So we are not saying he's born again or he's not born again. But we say we asked him, he said he was from his mother's womb. So nobody can condemn anybody. You don't have the license. You don't have the key to heaven. You can't shut anybody out. Even you yourself, pray that you yourself, before you condemn other people. So we don't condemn. You might explain what you don't understand. For example, when I travel, people ask me about him. I said, I like the charity he does. I like his humility, but I don't know if he's saved. And I don't know. Because when they ask him, his answer does not tally with my biblical answer, I know. But do you get that? So, yeah.
Thank you, sir. This question says, in my home.
Sorry. Please don't lie when you apply for anything, including visa. I've been there before when the pick people. You see, once you get there and they discover that if it's just small light, they might leave you. If it's big, the police are waiting to take you away. I've seen people go to jail. Don't think it's a joke, okay? So please, don't even lie on anything, especially with people like that. They have means to check your bank account. They know people that move money into your account. That is their profession. You know, some people do it as a profession. They will loan you money for your visa application. After a while, the bank will notice, the embassy will notice them, and they know that is what you do. So it becomes a problem.
In my home, any differing opinion with my husband is disrespect. How do I manage such situation?
Yes, sometimes respect is not in what you say. Actually, respect is attitude, because you can say, but that's really urinyokwe. Okay, so my parents, when we were younger, our neighbors, they called themselves Bodan and all that. But my own immediate elder brother came, he's 2 years older than I, lives in Canada now. He will never allow me to call him Boda. The day I call him Boda, he won't speak to me throughout that day. Until I say, Kemi, say, hey, you are back to your senses. And this is his point. He said, our neighbors are saying Boda and sister. Say, Boda, Boda, Shino. So he's that is for that thing is a nomenclature, all right. But in as much as that is so, do your best to find a way to appeal to people you have to deal with. We have bosses like that, we have wives like that, we have friends like that, we have neighbors like that you have to appeal to. But if it is on every matter, that is why you should have a mentor. When I proposed to TJ drilled me. It was hours of discussion. One of the questions she asked me that now I discussed, one of the smartest questions you must ask a guy before you say yes, is if you have a problem, who do I report to? If you don't, even if you have been married 10 years, 20 years, ask that question today. If you and I have problem and we can't, misunderstanding is mistaken understanding. It's half full, it's half empty, it's half full, it's half empty. Let somebody come and say, what's wrong with both of you? Just drink the cup of water. So you need it. So if that is the situation in your house, that is why you need to agree on a mentor, somebody you can talk to that will look at it critically and be able to give you a good suggestion.
Thank you, sir. I think we should stop sending in questions because we are actually running out of time.
Yeah, please. That is why I announced before. So please, no more questions.
Some are sending through WhatsApp too. So,
okay.
Yes. Actually, the person that asked about how to identify a man of God said the answer is not clear. Then
you don't identify a man of God except by their fruits and by what they say. Two things. Jesus said, if my words don't convince you, my actions should convince you. So you identify a man of God by, number one, the things they say. What they say, does he glorify themselves? Did they tell you they are born again? Did they tell you they are speaking for God? Very important. But beyond that, what is their works, especially their lifestyle? You know a tree by its fruits. How are they living their lives? That is very, very important where I am concerned.
Thank you, sir. I think I will have to merge these questions. It's on marriage. Is there a standard disciplinary measure for a church worker or leader who physically abuses his spouse or who commits adultery?
Okay. In our church, we have several disciplinary measures. You won't know because if you are not in leadership. Some of you have had some people say, oh, TA, they don't discipline people. Ask people that know. We are tough. Now, this is also me. I am a very interesting man. When you come late and you meet me, you know I don't talk. I hug you. Even if you are trying to explain what happened, I say, hey, but you see, the pastor over your family is in trouble with me. You don't know that. Yeah, I'm a grandfather. You know, Egin Jr. complained to his dad, say, you are spoiling my son, Craig. Egin said, that's my job. I'm his granddad. My job to spoil him, your job to train him. Let everybody do his job. So it is PK's job to make sure that favor comes to church early. So if favor does not come, I fight PK, that fight HOD, and HOD fight favor. You know the good thing about that is the fact that favor will say, these people are wicked, Reverend is very nice. Even Reverend saw me and hugged me, and when I explained, Reverend said, oh, well. So that's what some of you don't know, but that is how administration runs, actually. That is how, it's not my duty to chastise you for coming late. Like you tell me you won't come to church, it's information, it is not official. So if you don't come and they punish you, don't say I told Rev. No. That's how we operate. But this is how we punish. We punish based on this fear. If you are a pastor, we punish you hard. If you're a worker, we punish you harder. But this is where the problem is. Some of us expect us to punish people for what we don't even know. In the former church, people kept on saying, and some people are sleeping in the same house and they are not married, and the church is not doing anything about it. Excuse me, how will the church know anything about it? You that know, who did you tell? You gossip to one another. In our church, we have what we call TKN, NTK, need to know. You are telling Shewa is telling Mrs. Adediran that somebody is sleeping with somebody. She does not need, I need to know. Reverend TJ needs to know. You tell somebody that can do something about it. So if your husband is beating you, your wife is beating you, tell us. We will do the discipline and the counseling. That is our job. But don't tell your friend that we just, that's what we say. And that is their job. So let us know their disciplinary
Let's appreciate
measures.
Rev, please.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the second to the last question. Is divorce a sin? If a person is divorced, can the person remarry or not?
Okay, so if you understand the Bible, it's very interesting. There is Old Testament, there is New Testament. Somebody also said, I remember, about old type of worship and new type of worship. If you know anything about God, our God is an evolving God. Always evolving. In fact, the first thing the Bible said about the Godhead is that the Spirit of God was moving. The last thing he said about the Godhead, Revelation 21, is come quickly, Lord Jesus. So God is a moving God. It never stops. That is why we have the Old Testament and the New Testament. And then there are some things that are clear from the Old to the New. But there are some things that change in the New. Number two problem we have is that when they compiled the Bible, they wrote New Testament in front of the book of Matthew. So it makes us believe that is where New Testament started. But actually, New Testament started after the death of Jesus. Because Paul said, without the death of the testator, there can't be a testament. So there was no new until Jesus died. So there are some things in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John that is still Old Testament. But people don't know. For example, when they gave birth to Jesus and they brought him to the temple, they brought turtle dove. We are doing some baby dedication today and nobody brought turtle dove. Maybe it's Reverend TJ that didn't tell them. The Bible said, very interesting. I was preaching somewhere and I said the parents of Jesus were poor. And one man was very annoyed with me. How can you say that? I said, number one, if you have money, there will be room in the inn. Oh, it does not matter. They will found somebody for you if you really have money. I said, number two, Leviticus said when you have baby that is a firstborn and is a male, you should sacrifice bullock and goat. But if you don't have money, sacrifice turtle dove. Go and check what they sacrificed when Jesus was dedicated. And that also shows you the magnitude of God. That you don't need to die over goat. Turtle dove is cheap. It cares for everybody. But that's the Old Testament. So there are three major scriptures that explain marriage to us. Number one was Jesus answering the Jews. He was not to the church. So Jesus said to them, but look, and when Jesus said it too, it was very surprising, because what Moses told them is, if I'm tired of marrying TJ, I should just write out a letter of divorcement, and that is all. But Jesus Christ said, don't do that. In fact, if you do that, you have committed. If somebody married somebody that divorced, he was talking to the Jews. They were talking their law. The major scripture we have about marriage is in 1 Corinthians 7 by Paul. This is the New Testament. And this is what happened. Christianity just came that time. And it was very, very controversial. Why? Because look at the way it is like. It's like Guru Maharaj. If Mokwe comes to Pastor Kenny and say, I've joined Guru. You know what Pastor Kenny will do? He will say, I've even been looking at that girl in the choir before that I like. I will not marry you again because you are now Guru. So it became a problem. Now, Pastor Kenny in the choir with Mrs. Solomon too, that he first said, you two, you have done Guru, I don't want to be your husband. They are now singing together. And when you sing together, symphony can happen. So they started writing Paul. Look, there's a problem here. So Paul gave guidelines. Number one, it's even better not to marry. I know you don't like that. I'm just saying what the Bible says. Paul said, look, because if you understand the Bible, you will know even Paul was married. How can you say that, Reverend? He said, I'm a Sanhedrin of the Sanhedrin. You couldn't have been a Sanhedrin without being able to quote the first 5 books of the Bible verbatim, and then you must be married. So he was married. His wife left him, church history said, when he got saved. So he now wrote a letter. He said, concerning the things you wrote to me, is it good for a man to marry? He said it's better, because if you are married, you will mind fleshly things. Even before you fast, you need permission from your husband, and on and on. But this is what he said. He gave like 3 or 4. Some of them he said, God told me. Another he said, this is not God told me, but I get this from I said, this is my opinion, but I believe I have the Spirit of God. Another one he said, this is just my counsel, it's not Bible. But this is what it comes to. Number 1, the unbeliever can leave. Number 2, if the person die, you can remarry and all that. But this is the thing, the unbeliever can leave. If your life is in danger, you can leave also. So 1 Corinthians chapter 7 is what we follow. But I beg you, before you even think of divorce at all, think of all the angles. Because unfortunately, the children are the one that suffers most in every divorce. So consider them, consider your life also, because it has been proven by America, where they have record. We don't have record in Nigeria. America says 50% of first marriage don't work, but 90% of second one don't work. So why leave what is partially working for what will most definitely not work? That is why people like this guy that used to interview on CNN, this Jewish guy with glasses and suspender. What's his name again? So, Larry King. That's why they married 5 times. You know. Yeah. And all that. So, yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Shewa.
Okay, the question here says that how do I secure my promotion in life, and how do I become a successful international business person?
Beautiful. The world is so easy now. You don't even need to leave Nigeria to become international. What a world. Yesterday, I spoke to a group of people from about 14 nations in my bedroom. 14 nations. Canada, Ireland, United Kingdom, South Africa, from everywhere. From my room. In fact, TJ had 2 days ago to help me rearrange the room, because she said, one time when I was speaking to the world, when a bottle of water was showing, but that's where the world had become. So if you have Instagram now and you have Facebook, you can sell to any part of the world. It's a blessed generation. In that generation, to publicize anything on TV is a lot of money, on radio. This generation, you don't need to do that any longer. Just with your Facebook and your Instagram, you can do a lot. How do you secure your promotion in life? The Bible says a lot of things about that. Keep on coming to church. I keep on teaching on that, and that will be a blessing.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
Church,
you.
you can agree with me that it's been a wonderful time with Rep. Please stand up as we celebrate him once again with a clap innovation.